Around 1,000 anti-Kremlin Russians in exile queued for several hours outside their embassy in Yerevan, Armenia on Sunday, March 17th, to vote in presidential elections at home, with most saying their vote may not change the expected outcome, but showing up was important. The queue was more than 1 kilometer long around the large embassy complex. It's clear that the president will be elected without us, but at least we will show. I came personally to show that I disagree and to show that there are many of us. It seems to me that if the authorities see that there are many of us who disagree, then at least life in Russia may be a little easier for people. I would very much like Russia to be a peaceful country, that we would move on to negotiations on Ukraine as soon as possible. And I believe that to do this, we need to declare our will and express our will. I would very much like for some change to happen, for the better. Of course, there is a high probability that it will not happen at this time, not this year, but we want that moment to come. We do everything we possibly can. We came to stand in this queue. Voting is not the most important thing here. To see all these people, all of us, and just understand how many of us there are, to see it again, because it's very important. I hope that Russia will become a democratic country in the future and perhaps will join the European Union. And it seems to me that Russia is part of Europe, and it would be wonderful if we finally acknowledged this and took the path of democratization. I want Russia to be a free country, so that nobody would be afraid of Russia, and so that Russia could be proud of itself. I dream of returning to Russia. I dream of doing something useful for my country. I dream of a Russia where there will be independent courts, where the press will work freely, where people will not be imprisoned for their opinions. Lawyers, journalists, environmentalists, human rights activists will not be imprisoned. This is the kind of Russia I dream of. For everyone to be happy, and for there to be no dictatorship, for there to be freedom of speech, and for everyone to be able to be who they want to be in Russia without leaving the country. Armenia, which allows Russians to stay without a visa, became one of the most popular refuge for Russians opposed to the Putin regime, and after conscription ramped up to fight in Ukraine. Yerevan authorities said last year that over 100,000 Russians had moved to the mountainous South Caucasus country of around 3 million people. Many of the voters in the queue said they hoped one day to return to their homeland.